Adult Solutions. Add-on Desire.
Hello my dear students, welcome to Adult Solutions. You are with your Nabi sir and we are studying social studies. So we are going to deal with the theme first. That is what I have already explained, that entire your syllabus of social science has divided into two units, two themes or two parts. The first part is resources development and equity. Resources development and equity for the as participation or utilization of the resources. Yes, so chapter number 5, Indian rivers and water resources. Indian rivers and water resources, page number 59 to 71. Yes, so in the first of your textbook on syllabus or chapter number 5, you will see this picture, that is on a map of India, identify and mark the Himalaya and the Western Ghats. So the textbook is asking you to mark the Himalayas and Western Ghats. So this is what you can see, dear students. You can check on your textbook, in your textbook, that is like brown part from here to here, from Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Assam, Sikkim, and that entire part of Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Assam, they touches as the Himalayan. And if they're asking about the Western Ghats, so this is the Western Ghats, Maharashtra and Mumbai part. This is the Eastern Ghat, Chennai and all we consider over here. Okay, now using the color code, identify the height range in which some of the rivers originate using the atlas and the raised relief map. So this is what they have raised the number, like 0 to 300 MTS, that is India relief and disgarages. Yes, so the drainage system in India has evolved in adjusted itself with the evolution of the three physiographic units. First, the Himalayas. Second, peninsular plate. Third, the Indo-Gangetic plate. And on the basis of these or its origin, the drainage system in India can be broadly divided into two categories. And that is the first, the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Yes, the Himalayan rivers. What do we understand with that term? The Himalayan rivers belong to the three principal system. They belongs through three principal system, and that is the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra. So that is very important point. Indus and the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, these three rivers we consider as the Himalayan rivers. Okay, now these rivers originated from almost the same region within few kilometers, almost from the same region within few kilometers of each other, and are separated by water divides. Now they first flow parallel to the main axis of the mountains. Then they take a sudden bend towards the south, cutting through the massive mountain chain to reach the North Indian plain. First they begin with the parallel of the three main or the main axis of the mountains. Main axis of the mountain, and then they take cut and reach as that part south, and we consider as northern part like Uttar Pradesh and all areas, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and all. Okay, now in the process they have curved out deep V-shaped valleys. This is well exhibited by the Indus and the Brahmaputra rivers. The Himalayan rivers are perennial. This is because the river are supplied on rainfall as well as the melting snow. They are perennials in the sense they are all the time they flow. It's not like seasonal. Seasonal rivers sometimes we understand as the time of rainy season or monsoon, it get flow and all. But when it is no rain or very low or minimum rain, we don't get that flow in the rivers. They dry. So for almost 3 to 4 months they keep dry, and then whenever they get the water or flow or overflow, they get the water in that. Okay, so but this is, or these rivers, the Himalayan rivers, we discussed three rivers. These are perennial because the river supplied rainfall as well as the melting snow, or melting snow in the sense that melting glacier as well. Now the Indus system. The Indus originate in the northern shapes of the Kailash range in Tibet near Lake Manasarovar. It follows a northwesterly course through Tibet. It enters Indian territory in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, the main tributaries of the Indus in India are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, or we call Beas, and Sutlej, or in another like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Vyas and Satluj, we also call that Sutlej. They cover Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh states of India. How many states they cover basically? Jammu Kashmir, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh states. Now Jammu Kashmir is not the state at all, that is what we have as union territories. Okay, now the Ganga system, first understand that, and that is really very understandable and very usable and very purposeful and very important, not just for your examination point of view, not just for your, like now you are in 10th class, you will get examinations and all that would be easy to understand and that would be utilization of that. No, even for your entire life after the 10th, you may indulge with other subjects or different subjects. You may go in the different streams. You may go different school and colleges. Okay, like inter colleges and all. So that will cover. Doesn't matter you are taking engineering, you are taking BTech, you are taking this, you are taking that after 12th and after 10th you are taking another streams. This Ganga system will always help you to cover your GK, general knowledge, for your general studies. So let's understand this from now onwards, so you won't take too much time to revise it in the future or coming days after 2 years or 3 years whenever you will indulge with the process of taking jobs. Okay, now the Ganga has twin sources. First of all, the Ganga has twin sources. The main source is Gangotri glacier. The first one or the most important is Gangotri glacier, where it is called the Bhagirathi. Where it is called Bhagirathi, so don't forget, Ganga comes from the glacier, that is what we call Gangotri, and another name for that is Bhagirathi. So the Bhagirathi river we also call that. The other is the Istophanth glacier. The other is the Satophanth or Istophanth glacier towards the northwest of Badrinath, where it is called the Alaknanda. So now you understand one part as Gangotri, another part as Alaknanda. It gets from the two water and it became one Ganga. The two join at Devprayag. Where they join? Devprayag. To the Ganga river that emerged from the hills of Haridwar. The Ganga is joined by a large number of tributaries. So Ganga is not just one source of water. It gets many tributaries. And what is that tributaries? Rivers or tributaries we call as the supporting rivers, we understand in the sense supporting rivers. For example, Yamuna is a very strong. In Delhi, beside of Taj Mahal, beside of Red Fort, you may find that easily that Yamuna river, a great river. But that is also helpful in Ganga river. That is also tributaries to Ganga river. So Ganga river is not just one river, it has many collaboration and mixing part of tributaries rivers, and that's why it's very strong and very popular in India. So first you will have to understand that the tributaries, rivers and including before that Ganga came from two parts, different parts. One is Gangotri, another one is Alaknanda, and when they come they meet at one point. Where? In Devprayag in Haridwar. They meet at Devprayag in Haridwar, and from that onwards it became one river, and then it gets many tributaries. Okay, now a majority of them originated in Himalayan range, but some of them have their source in the peninsular plate. Majority of small rivers, because obviously we consider that the Himalayan rivers, the main sources is melting snow, heavy raining on the mountain, because whenever they get the mountain river, the water flows down and it comes from that Alaknanda and that Gangotri glaciers. Okay, and that part, and then it came as a Ganga, we call as a pure water of Ganga from like that onwards. Okay, then what is that? It is, as we understood from the previous slide, that it is basically overflowing all the time, it flows. So what is that? Himalayan range, but some of them have their sources in the peninsular. Mostly they get, means the Ganga river, mostly they get the small tributaries and helping water canals and all, they get in the top. But then the main sources is that the plain area, that's what they get, another rivers. Now yes, the other major rivers system of the peninsular drainage are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Peninsular rivers are characterized by a fixed course, absence of meanders and largely non-perennial flow of water. What they divided? Peninsular rivers are characterized, or like identity of peninsular rivers or characteristics of peninsular rivers, and like significant parts of the peninsular rivers is fixed courses, absence of meanders, and largely non-perennial flow of water. Okay, now the Godavari is the largest peninsular river system. Keep this thing available, active, and last longing in your mind. What is that? The Godavari is the largest peninsular river system. The source of the river is at the Triambak near Nasik in Maharashtra. Nasik is a district in Maharashtra and discharges its water into the Bay of Bengal. So it came from the Maharashtra part and it flows from the central part to that, and then finally it flows down in or will it as in Bay of Bengal. So as it discharges its water into Bay of Bengal, now the Brahmaputra system. Okay, the Brahmaputra known as the Zangpu in Tibet. In Tibet, what is that called? Zangpu. Rises from the snout of the Chemayungadung glacier. So these two different name, amazing name, and you may find it strange, but you'll have to remember it. Very important. So the Brahmaputra known as the Zangpu, okay, T-S-A-N-G, that is what they call as Z. They pronounce T-S as in Z, obviously. So Zangpu in Tibet rises from the snout of the Chemayungadung glacier of the Kailash range near Mansarovar. It flows eastwards through southern Tibet. Near Lhotse Dzong. Okay, it opens out into a wide navigable channel for about 640 kilometers. Thereafter, the river breaks through a succession of rapids. After that, the river breaks into a succession of rapids. So it enters in a great loop southwest through Arunachal Pradesh in India, first as the Xiang and then as the Dihang. So remember, first as the Xiang and then it's the Dihang. That's what the name of the Brahmaputra river that covers from the China part and that Tibetan part and all, and then finally it has become the tributaries of Ganga river. Emerging into the Assam Valley, it is joined by two tributaries, the Dibang and the Lohit. Another two name, Dibang and the Lohit. So it is coming from, just imagine that it is coming from the Tibetan part, the China's border and all. It is coming our Assam section here like that. When it is coming in Assam, it is getting two tributaries, means two healthy river. And what is that? The Dibang. The first one is Dibang and the second one is Lohit. It became the part of that. From here the river is known as the Brahmaputra. From now here onwards it become as the Brahmaputra river. Okay, now Indian peninsular rivers. The Western Ghats are the water divide between the major peninsular rivers, discharging their water in the Bay of Bengal, final water in the Bay of Bengal, and as a small tributaries join the Arabian Sea. Somehow some parts of that in the Arabian Sea, means nearby Maharashtra or at the corner of that. Okay, most of the major peninsular rivers except Narmada and Tapi or Tapti, flow from west to east. You will see that from east, western part to the eastern part, the west, and then finally in the west of Bengal. But these two, Narmada and Tapti, you will get from the eastern part to the western, and then it goes and discharges their water in Arabian Sea. Okay, now the Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Kain and Son. Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Kain and Son, originating in the northern part of the peninsular, belong to the Ganga river system, or as in another word, in another sentence, we might understand as the tributaries of the Ganga river, the helping river of the Ganga river. So what is that? Chambal river, Sindh river, Betwa river, Ken river and Son. Now you can feel, dear students, Narmada river here, Tapi river, Tapti, Godavari river here, and then Krishna and Kaveri. Okay, so they are coming from here and finally in Bay of Bengal. Godavari you can see coming from Maharashtra side and coming discharging its water into Bay of Bengal. Tapi you can see Tapti, western to the Arabian Ocean. Narmada from here to Arabian Ocean. These two rivers, as we found in the previous slides, okay, that is what the Mahanadi is becoming as we consider there. Now
Add-on solutions. Add-on design.